busted. Spend our weekends online, looking at used car parts, finding deals, and then going out to pick it up. Uno. So anyways, we are heading out to this dude's house to pick up the axle, the 5-lug stuff, spindles, brake booster, master cylinder, stainless steel lines, 5-lug 4-wheel discs, 373 axle. So I'll show you guys something. In the bed of my truck, I've got the pony wheels we're trading, like I said. One thing that's not in my bed is the axle. Upon further inspection of the axle, I found out that it was a 7.5 ring gear, not an 8.8. So it had been switched out at some point in its life. So it kind of got me worried. I had to double check the VIN on it and everything again to make sure it's a true GT. True GT.
Uno. True
GT. Uno. Okay. Anyways, we made sure it was, and it definitely is a true GT, and it should have a 273 or 270 something, 276 axle ratio in the back, and it should be an 8.8. But it's not. It's a 308, 7.5 ring gear. I texted the gentleman, let him know. I said, hey man, I just discovered it's a 7.5, and you're probably not going to want it, and he did not want it, so I'm having to pay the extra amount. I'm not going to get that discount that I would be if I was trading in the axle, so that's a bummer. It's still too good of a deal to pass up though, I think, so we're gonna get it. You'll see it soon.
Bye.
Goodbye. We're stuck in traffic, aren't we, buds?
Yeah, I should see you until I die. I need that for.
Okay.
I hear that for.
That could be what it is, I don't know. Heading back, aren't we, Boo?
Yes.
You tired? No? Okay, so we got the axle loaded. I'll show you guys as soon as we get home. It definitely needs to be cleaned, it's dirty. And, yep. I discovered that the front spindles were not SN95, but standard 87 Fox with a 10-inch. Or 11-inch brake, 11-inch rotor, so it had the conversion kit done on it at one point. So that's what the front end is, and looks like it's pretty much the same spindle, maybe a little bit different than what I've got on mine, but it is a 87 spindle with 11-inch rotor. The back disc rotor is also, I believe, 11-inch. So we're gonna get home, show you guys, and clean everything up. Okay, we just got home, so here it is. So it's dirty, and it's used, of course, but this will work just fine, man. So we've got the stock 11-inch Fox 5-lug. So this is actually a Fox spindle, looks like, and it's just been converted with a 5-lug hub and disc. So nonetheless, it's still gonna be better than what we got now, but really what we're after is this here, man. And I think I'll have to measure these discs, but I think these are pretty much the same size as the front. It's a pretty big rear disc brake. So yeah, like I said, needs a lot of work, needs a little bit of cleanup, but 488, 373. We got the two fronts and a box full of parts here. We got SSBC proportioning valve, and that looks to be what I think is a maximum motorsport conversion. This goes where the distribution block goes now, the proportioning valve is now. This takes place of it, so just a straight bypass, and then you tie in the proportioning valve. And then it's got the calipers here for the front. So it looks like this is stock Mustang GT stuff, 87 and up. It's just on an 11-inch 5-lug rotor, so that works. And it's got Russell stainless steel lines. And it's got all stainless lines in the back. And it's leaking. So yeah, so now I'm stuck with the 7.5. So if anybody needs a 7.5 inch, let me know. I'll sell it to you for stupid cheap. I need to get out of my garage. We got a lot of work to do. The first thing I'm going to do is try to drag this stuff out, put it on a jack stand, get some degreaser, and really start cleaning it so we can put some paint on it, make it look somewhat presentable, and then clean it up, you know, just kind of get it ready. We'll probably go ahead and put the front in tonight. And let me show you what we're planning on doing here. So I do need these spindles because the spindle is different because of the size of the brake. So I'm just going to probably bolt the whole spindle on, and I don't know what we have here for. Yeah, so anyways, I'll use the same struts that I've got because I just bought them. I'll have to look at that part number, but I bet these are also Monroe struts as well. So, came with a bag of bolts. We'll have to get this stuff cleaned up. That's for the rear end. And we have a master cylinder here, looks like off a SN95. So, this is going to be the correct master cylinder for 4-wheel discs, and this will go in place of the stock one that's meant for rear drums. So, I got everything for a pretty decent upgrade, brake upgrade, and I've got everything to convert to 5-lug. So, yeah, it'll be some time to get the rear control arms. But I mean, guys, this is easy. I'm not really doing a true 5-lug conversion. My videos would be more about, you know, stripping the axles out, converting the axles to 5-lug Ranger axles, and then you do the conversion up front. So this isn't really truly a 5-lug conversion. I mean, I am converting it to 5-lug, but I'm doing it the easy way. You know, I'm sourced the whole spindles and I'm sourced the whole rear end. All I gotta do is bolt it all in pretty much. So, you know, I guess there's more ways to skin a cat. This is easy way to do it, I think, but it's also, in my eyes, something I have to do now that I realize I've got the 7.5 rear that was underneath the car. So, you know, I wanted it anyways because of 373 posi, but now that I know it's a 7.5, I had to go with the 8.8 and switch it out and go ahead and put the 8.8 in it. So I'm going to try to get this thing unloaded, put it on jack stands, and get some oven off and cleaner on it. Over in the grass probably. So, hey! Hey, what's up, y'all? So happy Saturday. Drinking some Iron Thistle Scottish Ale from Rar & Sons out here in Fort Worth. It's pretty good. So I got the axle inside. And pulled the cover off. We're just taking a look at it. And rolled it around and just verified that it was a 373 posi with Yukon gears. So looks good. The fluid looks good inside. There's no wear, you know, no metal shavings. It looks really clean. So overall, the axle looks pretty good. Kind of the first rule of thumb is just getting things cleaned up. So I got the the cover here. Nice and clean on the inside. We need to really just scrape off the yeah, just like that. I'm gonna get all this stuff scraped off. Just gonna clean it up because this is a nice piece here, and it is probably one of the dirtiest pieces on it. So I'm gonna clean it up really good. And yep, yeah, we're gonna get some cleaner on it. I don't think it's a Ford Racing. It looked like a Ford Racing, but I don't think it is. One thing nice about it is it has a drain plug and it's got a fill plug. And we'll get this cleaned off. We'll see if it actually makes it. Not that it really matters, but first piece that we'll start cleaning up a little bit here. That's right. Kitchen sink. This gets the cleaner off, gets the rest of the oil off. Don't tell my wife. Okay, hey, this is clean enough to eat on. So that's a heck of a difference from when I got it. This thing was absolutely covered in grease, and now it's clean enough for my kitchen. So. Okay, so axle cover is on. Let the RTV dry, then we'll use a razor blade to scrape off some of the excess around the side. So that's on. Now we got to get the rest of the axle disassembled and cleaned. Okay, so I've got the brakes pretty much spread out. I've been looking up the part numbers, trying to figure out what this brake, the rear brake kit, came from. I took the brackets off here and just kind of gave them a new coat of black, and I got some new bolts for it because the old bolts were pretty rusty and shot, and they are Allen head bolts. So I'm going to upgrade it with some grade A bolts. This actually holds the brackets that holds the calipers to the axle, which I've got over here. So I got the cover on, and we've got it ready. And tonight I'm going to be cleaning up the axle and painting it with some POR15. So again, I'm just kind of get the axle done and kind of get all the parts cleaned up. I've pulled off the calipers. Looks like these have been overheated and boiled the or kind of made the paint bubble and peel. And I've also done some research, and I'm trying to figure out what these calipers are and what the brake kit came off of. So it turns out that these rotors are 11-inch rotors for the rear, and they are off like a 96 Explorer. So I can get these in a drilled and slotted, which is kind of cool. And the calipers and the brake pads are pretty shot, but these calipers are, I believe, what they call a Chevrolet metric caliper. So they just need clean, and I'm going to use these, I guess, until a different brake kit comes along, or if I just whatever reason decide to price them. They're going to work just fine, hopefully. I got a little bit of a leak here on the banjo bolt, so I have to get a new crush washers for this to keep it from leaking. So anyways, I decided to just get everything kind of pulled off and scrubbed and cleaned. Okay, so I cleaned up the axle and POR15'd it, and it's dark, so I will wait till it's light to you guys to see it. Plus, it's shiny right now. When it dries, it'll be dull. It's a flat black. So it's what I had. That's what I used. Alright, so we will see when this thing dries all the spots I missed. So I used this light to paint it. So that's what I get for working at night. So we'll see it in the morning or tomorrow. Hey, what's up everyone? Hey, listen, happy Saturday. It's 55 degrees outside. It's nice outside. So I don't have a whole lot to update on the 5-low conversion. I do want to show you the finished product after the POR15 on it, since it's daylight. So it definitely looks a lot better. It should hold up, I hope. That POR15 pretty much sticks to anything. It's pretty tough. It's kind of meant to paint over rust. That's why they call it POR15, paint over rust. And yeah, so it's pretty much ready to go in. So why I haven't put it in yet is simply because I have ordered some rear control arms, upper and lower. They're basically like the SVE tubular ones, except they have grease fittings, grease inserts on them, so I can service them if I need to. So that's cool. That should be coming in Tuesday. Once those come in, I think we can start bolting on the back axle to the car. So like I said, not much. That's why I haven't done a lot of updates, a lot of videos, because I'm just waiting on some parts to come in. But we do have plenty to do. One thing I want to tackle today, if we can, is the master cylinder and gutting of the proportioning valve and installing the manual proportioning valve. So I spent some time last week kind of figuring out what to do, and I learned quite a bit. And this is what I learned. So let me show you something. Remember, I think I mentioned to you guys that this came with the adapter here. So it came with these two adapter hoses, and could not for the life of me figure out how this went on and where it went, why to use it. What I have discovered was that the car this came out of was an 87. And now it makes perfect sense. But when I looked at mine, it didn't make a lot of sense why I needed a 2 to 3 splitter. But this car, I don't have to use it, because the 86 proportioning valve block has an exit for the back here. So if I'm not mistaken, I have to remember exactly here, but the back line is going to go to the front discs, and so that's the input that goes out. So this goes out to, I believe, the driver wheel, and that goes out to the passenger wheel, and this goes in for the rear drums, and then it comes out to that hose here, which is snakes over, and that's what we see along the firewall there. And that firewall is going to actually have the proportioning valve, manual proportioning valve, installed on it. So anyways, long story short, the 87 and up Foxes, I believe, have a single line that goes to the bottom of the master cylinder. So this would be capped on an 87 and actually goes straight off of a port on the bottom of the master cylinder. So the master cylinder's got 3 exits on it on an 87. That's what most people have to deal with when converting to 5-lug, is what to do with that line, since when they switch it out to the Cobra master cylinder, it doesn't have that bottom line right here that guys are used to. So if you do have that bottom line sticking out of the bottom of the master cylinder, that is what this is for. So you can actually tie the brake line directly into the T here. This, I believe, goes into the master cylinder on this end, and then that line down there is where you put what normally would go up to the master cylinder on an 87 directly into this line. So it's a splitter, and that's why they call it a, I guess, a 2 to 3-way splitter. And what they mean by that, I'm guessing, is because it's got 2 exits on the new master cylinder, which is on the 87, it has 3 outputs on it. Again, my 86 doesn't have that. I don't have to worry about that. I've got all lines going straight to the block, so there's no need to modify this. All we have to worry about is getting the lines from the new master cylinder, you know, from the distribution block into the new master cylinder up top. So we'll get to that. First, I'm going to go ahead and bolt on our brackets. Like I said, I did go ahead and get some grade 8 bolts and painted these, so I'm going to get these bolted on. Okay, so the rear brake caliper brackets are on with new bolts. We're going to pull off this master cylinder, and of course it's just 2 bolts. I mean, 2 brake fitting nuts, and then 2 nuts off the back of the master cylinder. So I believe this is a 16 mil. This is a 13, but it's completely rounded, so we'll have to get creative with some vice grips. And I think what I'm going to do, I got some extra brake lines, so I'll take these lines off and try to replicate them in the shape that they're in now with the correct fittings that fit the Cobra master cylinder. So I got a flare tool. It's not that hard, but yeah, we got to get these off first. Okay, we got a 16 on the back one. This is actually for the disc. That's why it's got a bigger reservoir. Disc brakes require more volume, so bigger reservoir. Drum brakes will have a smaller reservoir. All right. Switch down here. This is pretty much rounded out anyways. Just plan on trashing it and replacing it, because it is. That's what happens when you don't use the correct wrenches like I just used. Actually, They make brake fitting wrenches that snug the outside. There we go. Broke it loose. Okay. This is the cleanest brake master cylinder removal ever. So I think that's on the back bolts for the actual master cylinder itself, I believe. It looks like a 15, but let's see here. $14 and it's nice and rusty. So let's get a socket in there. Now we're talking. One. Bam! Just like that. That was easy. Okay, so I want to show y'all something real quick. This is the Cobra master cylinder we're about to put on the car. Wanted to see if the fittings that's on the car right now would fit into this, and it's quite a bit larger, so no, it won't fit into this, but I wanted to see why this extension was on it to begin with and not here. So this is clearly just a straight shot out to the front brakes, but this was, I decided to take a look at it, and I started taking the bottom section off, but didn't find anything other than, you know, quite a big thread that goes straight to the master cylinder bore. But this top part here, this cap, has a valve in it and a spring right there. So this to me looks like some sort of a residual valve, and it makes me wonder if this master cylinder is for a drum brake car. So before I go any further, I'm just going to look this up online, do some research real quick, and make sure that this is a four-wheel disc master cylinder to begin with. So you buy stuff used, you don't really know. Maybe the previous owner thought he had everything correct but didn't, and maybe he had problems with the car's braking the whole time. So while we have everything out, now's the time to cross-check this number here, and we'll see what it really is versus what I was told it was. Okay, so I'm glad I did my homework, because what I thought looked like a proportioning valve is a proportioning valve. I can't find this exact part number on the internet anywhere. This is like a it's leaking, but yeah, 30858 AC, and then it's got a number here, which I believe is 101502B. But everything I've seen online, the Cobras master cylinders do not come with this, and it makes perfect sense. Guys, this is a proportioning valve for a drum. This is going to hold residual pressure to the back drums, and I've taken both these apart so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. But yeah, so there's a spring in there that's controlling the pressure to the rear lines. And one would think, let's just take the whole thing off and plug your brake line, right into it, and bypass it. So that's not going to work. It's not a standard flare fitting, and it's huge. So on top of that, I went ahead and took the time to take the bore out and measure it, and it ended up measuring a little over 1.25 inches or 31 millimeters. So this is bigger than the Cobra master cylinder is supposed to be. The Cobra master cylinders are a 1-inch bore. This guy had the wrong master cylinder on the car. He had a 4-wheel disc Mustang. You know, obviously the brake conversion on the back. and he had what looks to be an F-150 or E-150 master cylinder with a large bore and a proportioning valve that would hold pressure to the back lines. I don't know what kind of issues that would cause, but the fact of the matter is I've got something that's really not supposed to be in the car, and I don't really exactly know what it is and where it came from. And the goal and purpose and what I thought I was buying isn't necessarily true. Now, I don't blame the guy who sold me the part because, you know, he was told what he was told, and there's no telling what he was told. So I didn't pay a ton of money for this whole setup. You know what I mean? I really wanted the axle anyways. I'm not that upset that I got, you know, the wrong master cylinder, but I am going to go ahead and get the correct Cobra master cylinder that we want with a 1-inch bore, and not try to make this work. So, guys, I want to cut it short, and this is going to be, I say short, it's a long video, but I'm going to cut it here because this is all I can do right now. I've got everything prepped. At this point, I'm waiting on parts. I can definitely start tearing up some more of the brakes, and I can make some more of the, some more of these brake lines. I can tear up the proportioning valve, but there's a lot to do. I can also put in the actual manual proportioning valve over there if I really wanted to, but a lot of the stuff I've gotten has been wrong because I did buy it used, and at least I think I know what I'm getting into, and I know what parts that are wrong I can get. So thank you guys for watching again. Happy Saturday, happy weekend. Please subscribe. Next time you see me, we'll have the control arms upper and lower in. Hopefully we'll have a correct master cylinder, and we'll really start stripping these brake stuff apart and getting this stuff bolted in. So right now it's a waiting game. We're just waiting on some pieces and parts. Yeah, and that's really it. I might actually try to get some new rotors that are drilled and slotted. Probably not, just because that's extra money that I don't have to spend right now. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.